traveled to the UK, then my eyes actually were wide open, because I said I want to actually see how the colonial masters, which are the Britons then, how what religion do they actually practice, because they brought Christianity, isn't it? So I want to see. So unfortunately for for them and for myself, I was disappointed, because I went to Church of England, which is the predominant church in the UK, and I found that if you count the number of people in that church, is 0.000000001% of what you will find in Redeem Camp. I don't know who if my math, if anybody understand my maths there. So which means that it's just a tiny drop in a massive ocean of what you get in a Redeem Camp on along Lagos Ibadan Expressway. So we are even more Christian than the colonial masters that brought the religion to us. So it's actually a tool anyway. It's a slavery tool, because there was a survey on BBC. That is, BBC is a British Broadcasting Corporation. There was a survey on BBC which was actually televised, and they were going around on the streets asking people around Christmas that, oh, why are we celebrating Christmas and who is Jesus Christ? You would not believe it, that out of every 10 people, not only one person actually got the question right, like to know who that Jesus Christ is. And you say that you brought it to me, and you're saying that that's the only way, the only way, and that's it. If I don't believe in Jesus Christ, then I'm going to heaven. I'm going to hell. So which means that 80% of the total population of UK. So now UK has got about, if I'm correct, at about approximately 60 million people. So which means that 40 million or above 40 million people are going to hell, because that is the total, that is the approximate number of people that does not even know who Jesus Christ is, according to the survey on that same BBC. So, and I just want us to actually have a rethink as Yorubas, as Igbos, to understand that when it comes to religion, it's just a political tool, and is a colonial tool, and is a slave. It's actually used to enslave people, because that's the only place where you find, slave, obey your masters, and then if I slap you on the right, turn the left cheek. You understand? This is just a gimmick for them to actually be able to have a leeway of what they were doing to us as at that time. When they enslaved people, they're like, when people offend you, you forgive. So how many times do people have to forgive you? Okay, 49 times, 49 times. What nonsense? You understand? There's nothing bad in actually forgiving somebody, but if you perpetually, enslave my people, and you say, okay, you know what, oh, forgive me, although tomorrow I'm still going to enslave your people, so then, well, we are in for a long thing. So I don't know if there's anyone here who has some other contribution to this. Thank you.
I do. I just want to share some few things before I leave. Good day, everybody. Let me talk about the effect, because I don't want to repeat whatever the both of you have said in another way. Now, one thing that baffles me now is that I'm very sure sooner or later the Chinese people will give us another version of religion. Maury, stop it. I'm talking on the phone. So they'll give us another version of religion of their own, and I'm very sure sooner or later we'll find fellow Africans that will start defending that one too, and saying that is the new way to heaven. Because I really don't know how much we will have to open our eyes and our ears. So another thing here is that if you look at something that is very, very funny to me nowadays is that even these religions have been diluted and has entered our religion hand to hand, that now, Bonarive, people, even our parents now kind of mix the religion with our tradition in such a way that they now think that even our culture should be interpreted from the Bible. And when I say that, you hear this whole idea of okololoriyaya and all those things and everything. People think it's a culture, our culture is saying that women should be a slave to men in our culture, as Yoruba or Igbo. I don't know if it is the same or maybe other places in Africa. But do you know that is not the way it is in our society before? In our society, women are placed in a high pedestal. But today, it's not the same way. It has those religions have totally taken over the interpretation of our culture, the true meaning of what it is meant to be. Now, let me scare you a little bit. You know that I know Oyigi Igi can confirm this for me. There's a way that you can take the consciousness of a human, I mean the energy that you call spirit, you can take it out of another human and put it in another body. You get that? Our fathers could do that. Our fathers
of course.
You get our fathers could do that. But do you know recently now, Elon Musk did something. He called it Neuralink, where if you place some chips into the brains of animals or whatever the experiment is, there's a chimpanzee now, based on that Neuralink, can play PS5 just like a normal human being, because they are connecting the brain, the human sense to their own or whatever the old science they are doing. But what I want to bring out of that is that now they are also talking about taking consciousness out of a normal human, another human, and putting it in another body. So there could be a lifeless body, or they just need to take consciousness from here and put it here. So people will not die. Instead of dying, you just need to buy another new body or sleeve or whatever they call it. They've used it in a movie, but they're already doing that. There's a rumor around it. So now, the thing is that when they achieve that, they will now bring it like it's technology or science. And my people will follow and say, hey, Oyibo don't do it. But when your own fathers will do it, they will be casting and binding in the name of Jesus that does not exist. The name of, let me not speak too much. That's just the way I want. That's for you to know how much, not colonization itself, but the unnecessary adoption and intermarriage between our own culture, philosophy, and their own. That is where the problem comes from. For now, I yield my mic. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Bello. You actually have a very, very, very good point there about the way all this, the way it and the borrowed or the imposed um, religions actually affect our women. You know, our women are highly revered in our tradition. They are actually our strongest pillar. So, and if you look at it from that angle, you could actually see that Islam would actually tell you that, you know what, if you're a woman, there's no place for you. The only place for you is what our Bubu has said, is in the Azar room. Also in Christianity, is like, you know what, hey, you know, they've actually
Mr.
relegated.
Atunde,
Yeah.
don't be angry. First Corinthians, I think 32 or 34, chapter 32 or 34 from 30 something upwards, where it said a woman cannot speak in church. If she has to say anything, she has to talk to her husband, ask permission, or they go home before she can say it. That is one message that actually subjugates women in the Bible. But these people will come and defend that statement and try to tell you that it's not the way it is said. That's what it means.
Well, you can because a lot of people have they actually want to be holy than the Pope, you know, and they want to be more Islamic than the Saudis. So if even if you go into Christianity itself, it's actually been divided into fractions. And this passage that you actually quoted, a lot of women have actually fought against it. You understand? And it's actually it is one of those doctrines that's actually dividing even the church itself. Because and that's why you have somebody like well, I don't want to start mentioning names anyway, but we know some popular female pastors who wants to fly a private jet now. So well, I'm still waiting for the private jet to fly. So but you can actually see that it's become a money making venture, and that is why it's a lucrative business, and that's why it's thriving. That's why it's thriving. Because if there's a pastor that I used to know in Abuja. He said by the time he decided and he went to tell his parents that, oh, I want to be a pastor, his parents said, what? You want to be wretched? But because they've found a new twist to it, now everyone is doing it. Everybody's flying a private jet. And let's look at it as well. Like, poverty in the country is actually driving a lot of people into it as well. Because one of my cousins, yeah, is an elder cousin to me. So he was a classmate to the pastor in Elevation Church in the VI. So when that guy was actually going to the bank to work in the bank, the guy in the Elevation Church was saying, "Oh, you know what, guy? Let's do ministry. Let's do ministry." But he was like, "You know what? I'm working in a bank. I'm earning money. So why should I come? Why should I come now? I know we're both pastors. But right now, the guy has actually metamorphosized the whole thing, because they could not get he could not actually thrive very well to get a white collar job, a banking job then, which is a high paying job as at that time, but now it's become a multi-million naira business. So, and these are the things that we are actually saying, that they brought it to us, we took it, and we now became more holy than the Pope. And I believe is a thing that we actually really, really need to understand, that not until when we start knocking it down, you understand, and promoting what is ours, who we are as a person, or not how, um, for us to actually rediscover ourselves and understand that this thing is a tool for slavery, is a tool for control, and is a tool to actually to divide the people. So, if anyone also has something to add, can you please signify? Oh, Madam Oyigi, you're flashing your mic.
Yeah, thank you everyone for everything you have said. But the problem still lies. And the problem there is that it is more difficult to convince your people than finding solution. You understand? And I was talking to one man this evening. I used to call him Grandpa. He said, did I know that in history, this religion was the same thing they used in colonizing the Europeans, even the British people. They were able to wake up later from their slumber and they denounced it. That is why when you see people preaching on the streets of Britain, on the streets of Italy, they get arrested. They stop them. They don't want to hear it because they know what harm religion has done to them. But then again, they know it is now a tool to put the Africans under control. So, what did they do? they allow churches to thrive among them. They allow preachers to continue to preach in the churches so that the Africans can never wake up from their slumber. No wonder Vatican is in the heart of Rome. But here, the Vatican, they still believe they are another city on their own. When you get to the Vatican, you get to a point in Vatican, they tell you are no more in Rome. Because because I remember the history the historian teacher taught me. He said in the time of Julius Caesar, they were so cruel to the people. They used religion, Catholic religion, to subdue them. That is why now, all these other Christian religions came out from Catholic. There's this Italian man that used to tell my husband, he would say other Christian religion are rebellion. That it is only the Catholic that is a true Christian. Other Christian churches, be it Redeem, be it White Garment churches, be it Anglican, all others are rebellions because they
So, can anyone hear me?
I think it might be your side. Please continue, Madam Oyegege.
Now, Mr. Iwu, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. So they already fought against religion within their own selves. Now they see it as a waste, as a tool, as a means of enslaving people, tribes, countries, and they use it on the Africans. Their waste products, they put it there, and they go there to our own lands and take our finest resources to make use of it for themselves. That is why we have their Bibles, we have their religions that they forced down onto us, and they have our resources, our own resources that is meant to supposed to be our own life supporting resources. They already have it. And these people that you are telling every day, your own people, that this thing is just a way of colonizing you and subduing you, making you to see yourself as always lower to these people. But they don't understand, no matter how you try to explain. And they did it in a way that Grandpa told me once. He said, if you collect Christianities from some people in Africa, what do you want them to use to survive? I said, as in how? I don't understand. He told me, he said, because that is their own means of survival. That is the only way, the only thing that is keeping them going in all the trials and troubles in their life, because they still believe miracle will happen. That is why they can withstand any sufferness. One lady came to this clubhouse one day, and she said one thing. He said, only maggots will thrive in a pit latrine. But Nigerians, Africans as a whole, they are thriving there. They are getting killed, yet they are scared of dying. Even though they see that death face to face, they see people killing their own children, they still don't want to die. Imagine a father standing and somebody is stabbing your own daughter, your own son, your own wife. You are still scared of death. Are you not dead already? But what they say is, oh, he will live to fight. He will live to do something. Fight another day or something. They believe in life even though they are suffering, even though they are not even better than the person that is dead. This is what religion has done to us. Even though they cannot eat, and these people that brought religion to you, if Oyibo cannot, a white man cannot eat 3 square meal, he will say, what is the meaning of his life or her life? They will take it. But a black man will suffer, go hungry, and they are killing them, and they are still hoping for life. It's better to be dead now. I don't know how our people think. And yet when you try to tell them this religion, this tradition, our tradition is our own, it's something you have to be proud for, they will say, no, it's evil, it's devilish. It's something they cannot associate with. But this one that you have been associating with for since even before you were born, and since you were born up till this age of yours, you are still praying, and you are still praying the ways of another person's religion, and still you don't have nothing to show for it, no headway in life, but you're still hoping, a hopeless hope. That is why I just said, let me open this room so that we can exchange our views within the Yoruba people, the Igbo people, the Hausa people, Brazilian, Somalia, whichever country you are from in African continent, or even outside the African continent. So far you can speak this language English, so that my own people, I don't know, my own Yoruba people will learn from others. Because when we start talking, they will say, oh, you are portraying our tradition so that it is. They don't even see it as their own tradition. They see it as if it's my tradition, so I'm trying to sell it to them. I'm trying to polish it and make them see it is beautiful. While inside them, they believe their slave masters have told them it is dark, it is bad. So me, I'm trying to entice them now for their own thing. That thing aches my mind. So it won't just be as if I'm the only one talking. Please, somebody else can say something and link their mic if they want to speak, or better still, I hand over to Mr. Tunde.
Yeah. I've got some instances to share to highlight the dangers of the Western religion on our people. I mean, I don't know about Yoruba. I've never seen, such things in Yoruba land. But you see the videos of, I mean, this started a long time ago, of pastors, of reverend fathers, priests, and whatever they are called. These people go to our traditional sacred places, and they destroy the things that we use in uh, things that they did not keep, things that they did not make. These are things left for us by our forefathers, and then we think it is right to come and destroy them. I mean, this is horrible. And then the white man came to us and told us this is evil. Even though we know, I mean, how can someone be enslaving you and giving you something good? These people use this thing to enslave us, for God's sake. And everybody knows this. We all...
Sorry for interjecting you. The most, the mistake they did, the great mistake people did is that they thought, okay, by going to those shrines, by going to those traditional places and going to pray, oh, in Jesus' name, setting them on fire, they think they destroyed it. But in the real sense, they didn't. Now, it happened in a town in Igbo land, Owerri to be precise. It happened that years ago, there's this deity. I would remember the name of the deity and I'm going to say it so you can make your research. When the Catholic people came, they prayed, they went to the shrine, they cast, they bind, they did everything. The deity now kept quiet. To them, they have won. To them, they have cast and bind. To them, they have overcome. To them, they are unbeatable. Their Jesus is unbeatable. The deity was known for as the deity of justice. The deity is a woman. She was a woman when she was human like us. So one thing led to another. She became a snake, and they started paying homage to her, sacrifices and all that. And I heard it in history that in the story they passed down to me that when something bad wants to happen in that town, in that village, maybe when something bad wants to happen, the woman will, go away from her shrine and conquer. And when something good is coming to the town or village, the woman will be in her shrine. They will be hearing drums all over the villages. Everybody will be hearing that drum. She will be beating the drum. And children used to go to that shrine to pick snails and all that. And most of the time, sometimes she will just come out and tell them, oh, my children, don't get to that place. You can pick your snails here. You can do this. She's living among them, and she'll help them to bring justice to the people of that village. So when these Catholic people came, they casted and bind and did all they did. And they even built a church beside that shrine because they couldn't burn it down. They were not able to even stay in that church to worship. And the place was deserted for a long, long time. So when this thing I'm saying, is a real story and is a true life story, I'm going to rack my brain for the name of that deity, and I'm going to tell you, you can go and Alaumapu, yes. Mr. Iwu, you heard me what I said.
Yeah.
Alaumapu.
Alaumapu. Okay. Yeah.
So you can write it down and go and make your research. When this Biafra, Fulani people were killing people of recent, when it happened of recent, and then they are killing people, the Igbos are dying and everything. This deity now went to go and meet an elder in the village and tell the elder that, in Igbo language, and tell the elder that, are you now tired? Have you seen you cannot pursue me from my home? And I don't get sense at last, because the way my husband interpreted this thing to me, that was what it meant. So now the deity now told the man that, go and repair my shrine for me. I am coming back because there's a war looming. And I pity you people. That is why I didn't go anywhere. I'm around. Now they have done everything the deity said and requested of them. And you know what? I wouldn't have believed this story if not for my mother-in-law. She's at the village. So she now told my husband that this thing you have been saying since all these days. See, Alaumapu did like this, did this, and this. So she told him the story. And my husband said, really? My husband was so happy. And this, my mother-in-law, she is this, what's it called? This law choosing. She doesn't believe in all this, all this tradition and everything. But when that thing happened and she witnessed it, she's not even only having change of mind. Rapidly, she's grabbing, the tradition way of doing things. So I yield my mic, Mr. TJ.
Yeah, thank you very much, my sister. This is a wonderful topic. And I believe that if we all understand it, people should rush in. When I saw the title, I said, wow, how colonization affected our tradition. Afi etesile and palapalapa. For those who doesn't understand what I've just said, we left the main thing. We are treating what is non-issue. And this is exactly where our problem is. Just to remind every one of us, colonization didn't started in 1914. No, it started way before. And when you look at it very well, you will find out that there are quite number of countries in Europe. They put themselves together. And then they said, look, Africa, they are now confused. Let us go and now divide them in the way we want it. They came in, they didn't even think about the people who are living in that continent. They started cutting it like a piece of cake. For quite a number of our people, you will not even understand that we have two Nigeria. And that is why we have that headache. You'll be hearing Niger and you'll be hearing Nigeria. Niger and Nigeria, they are the same in French and in English. Only that the French are called Niger, the one in Nigeria are called Nigeria. But this colonization, the way it affected us, we Africans, first of all, what makes you to be a nation? It completely destroys it, your borderline. When you are talking about the Igbo, when you're talking about the Yoruba, when you're talking about the Hausa people, we don't even know where our original borderlines are anymore. They came, they caught us. For example, we, the Yorubas in Nigeria, we will see our Yoruba in Benin Republic, yeah, and then we will say they are foreigners. We will now see another person like maybe Fulani in Nigeria, and we will say, yes, that's my brother because we are in the same country. Let's see it from there. Then, where those headaches started coming in is we now have people who doesn't have the same ideology with us coming in, pressing it down. And of course, it is not just only the internal row that we have, but the external one. When the white man come in, for them to have been able to subdue us, they make sure that they brought this concept of their own ideology, religion, in. Without that religion, they wouldn't have been able to, conquer us the way they conquered us. You'll be hearing people saying that yes, it is only through Jesus Christ they can go to heaven. So they will say, if you slap me one, I will give you the second cheeks. They have completely destroyed our way of life and our way of thinking. We can't even defend ourselves anymore. And even when we see someone that came in and destroy or kill our own children, we will still be saying that yes, let God judge. And you have your hand, you have your leg, you have your brain. Why can't you do the needful? All of these are the things that colonization brought in. The colonization that actually destroys us is the European colonization through the Christianity or Islam. From the Atlantic Ocean, the European came in, while from the Sahara Desert, the Arab came in. If you know the amount of slaves that have gone in through the Sahara Desert, it's even more than the Atlantic Ocean. So when they were coming in, quite a number of people were killed, subjugated, and were forced into different religion. That affects us dearly. Tradition, culture is what gave birth to religion. So we are now having this headache of another man's culture and tradition that gave them Christianity, and they brought it into us in Africa. And that is why we cannot think the way we are thinking anymore. So I don't want to take too much of the stage. I would like other people to, jump in and talk more about it. But it's a very nice topic that we're talking about here. I yield. Thank you.
Has anyone got something to add? Should I just go on? If you have anything to add, just blink your mic. Those are the audience. You can come up and contribute to the topic. So the topic is still how colonization affected our tradition. And you've heard testimonies. I mean, there's so many things. Like if we start counting the things that we have experienced, I mean, the questions, if we start asking the right questions on how come Christianity, how did we get here? If people don't ask questions, what we do is we just go ahead and we met Christianity and then we want to die for it, or we met Muslim, we met Islam, we want to die for it, we want to give our lives without even asking questions. How did we get here? How did we get here? So I think the very first thing that the white man does when we lost our identity, that is the worst thing that ever happened to us, because you don't know who you are. How then will you understand what goes on around you? You don't know who you are. You think you are a slave. That's what the white man has told you. You think you are inferior. That's what they told you, because they called you black. They called you inferior to them. And then we believe that. But then when you have a rethink and then do your research, you see that the civilization actually started in Africa. Why have we lost ourselves? Why have we lost ourselves? So I was in other room some other day, and then I learned one thing, that the Igbo people, we had a method of communication, method of inscribing, writing things, communication that is not alphabet before the white men came. We had something called CBD. These are ways we write stuff. These are ways of communication. But then these people came, they took that away from us. Now I don't even know what it is. I only heard it on Clubhouse in history classes. And this is how we have lost ourselves. So there is so many things. When I was still a Christian, I had so many questions, and then I was so naive. I go to church, and then the pastor or the priest will say, well, you should give everything you have on you. And I was doing all these things, and then the things my dad was, I almost became a reverend father. Who's I mean, if anyone's a Catholic, you will understand. I almost became a priest because my dad wanted me to. My dad was a staunch Catholic. But then when he got ill, when he got really ill, he was such a Christian that he would never allow you take him when he was really, really ill. He would never allow you take him to any native doctor or any deity, you know? And then when he got ill, nobody, this priest, the people that he spends his money on, the churches, they never came for him. They left him for dead. And then he died with his rosary on his hands all the time. He prays his rosary. Even when he's lost everything, he still had his rosary. He still believed in that God, in the Christian way. And this is how we lost it. We lost all the things. We know so many things. We know ways, our ways of, the ways of healing, our traditional ways of healing. There were so many things we could do. But this we abandoned our ways, our good ways, and then we're now chasing after the white man's way. So I believe Danny has something to add. If anyone has anything to add, please come up the stage and.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Regarding African history, or personalizing it, say my history, I think we still have a long way to go in recollecting those things, those ancestral things, those deities, those, things that we used to worship before now. And there was this conversation I had with one of my friends, telling him that really what we have now is just a whitewash. People are just living, they can't connect back to who they are. Everybody wants to be good. Everybody wants to go to church, follow the Christian doctrine. And so far that we have gotten, it has not paid anybody. We need to dig deep into our roots to understand our history, to understand where we are coming from. Many people, many young people, they can't say anything about where they are coming from. Personally, I'm still in the process of researching. I'm still researching to know how my people used to worship, how my people used to the deity and all of that. Trying to study, and it's so hard. Even the people, the older ones that I look up to, they don't even know. So I don't know. I've joined different rooms about African history and all of that. I just don't know. I came here just to listen, basically. I came here to listen, to know, and also strengthen my research. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Danny. You see, we we have actually come a long way, and the colonialists, what they have actually done is that, and what they continue to do, because if you look at it, colonization has not ended, but there are so many colonization in different fashion these days. Economic colonization, ideology colonization. So it's still going on in there right now. And if we look at where we're coming from, we are actually peaceful people already. We have our own way of life. We follow our own tradition. At least I read a book, Things Fall Apart, by Chinua Achebe. And if you look at the setting, because I'm not about the story now, but if you look at the setting, there's something called setting, which I don't know if anyone understand the background, the traditional aspect of it, of things. You could actually see the names that we call the names that we call ourselves. You know what I mean? Ebubedike, all those things. So all these names, we have all these things already. We have our way of life. We are self-reliant on our own as at that time. Even though our parents or our ancestors, they have many wives, they have many children, but it's for a purpose as at that time. And the purpose as at that time was to actually use them on the farm. Not actually use them on the farm, for them to help out on the farm. That's the right word. Because most of our ancestors are farmers. So with all this, even the colonialists, they came and they saw all these things. Because I'll tell you something. One thing, because I've actually lived with the white people for some time, and I've actually gotten to understand them. They will not do anything without actually studying you first. So during those times that they've come to do slave trade and everything, they were actually studying us and trying to know who we are. And they go back to make reports. They gave reports. They said, I was still trying to look for that document. They said they've been going everywhere. They've been to our land, and they've never seen anybody go hungry. The only thing to do is to break their backbone, which is their religion. That is a stronghold. So they came, they spoiled our tradition. They told us to close our eyes. And before we open it, we have our Bible in our hands. So we actually really thank God. It's actually good now that we're actually getting our consciousness back, and the reawakening has begun. And it's now left to us to now decide: do we want to keep the momentum, or we want to go back to our slave masters? And I believe that will be Stockholm syndrome. So if we look at the way things are going right now, we are. A lot of us in our generation now have actually gotten to understand that, and I would say thank God for the internet. The internet has actually given us a lot of liberation, because we are at the information age. There is nothing hidden anymore. They cannot hide all these things away from us anymore. If you think you're going to keep your mouth shut and not tell us about things, about the history, about what you have done to us, no problem. We'll find it. Just like the general word that everybody says these days. Google it. We'll Google it and we'll find it. We'll find the information. Definitely. It's coming out there now. The more research that we're doing now, the more things are actually resurfacing now, and we're beginning to understand the damage that has been done to us, and how we can actually go about repairing the damage and moving on as ourselves. Because we are God in ourselves. Because each and every one of us are chosen. We're chosen. We have it's in the Ifa way of life. Yeah, it is. We do something called Esentaye or Shefa or Itefa, which will actually tell you what your purpose is. You know, a lot of people are actually walking on the street in not actually working in their purpose, in the purpose that they have actually come to this world to do. It's only a fraction that is actually lucky, you know, by accident or whatever, either by accident or by the way that by conscious efforts of actually trying to rediscover themselves, fall in line, and they thrive in their purpose that they've come to this world to do. Some people have come to this world to be businessmen. And whatever, in fact, even if they sell toothpick, they'll become millionaires. And I'm not going to go there, but it's all about working in our own purpose, in the purpose that, because we are selected. Orisha, you know, Orisha is, they are actually chosen one. So we all have been selected, and it is, if it is in this capacity that we actually that we manifest, that will actually determine if we're going to be revered or venerated like the Shango of those days, like the Oshun, like the Oya, like, you know, name all the Orishas, because the more it is their capacity, it is the energy and the power and the purpose that they've actually come in life to fulfill, and they fulfill it in that light, that is actually making us to be able to actually venerate them and be able to ask for that energy whenever we're in trouble or whenever we actually need to use it. So I don't think if anyone also have anything to add, or maybe there's a question in what I've said. Thank you.
Yeah. When you talked about Ifa, and then it reminded me, I was in a room, and one boy, I can't remember his name, was saying something about Ifa, that Ifa has predicted so many things in the in that way of life in the Yoruba land, like so many things the Ifa has predicted, and it has actually happened. And this is like, I was so marveled listening to this person talk, because I mean, these are things we have. This is something we have, but we let it go. There's, in Igbo language we say, um okay, let me not just say it in English. I think this saying means that somebody, you left something that is the most valuable, and you are pursuing the very, very less valuable thing. So that is what we are doing. We left the gold that we have, we left the diamond that we have, and now we're going after plastic. We're going after plastic. How? Where is our brain? Even if we don't, well, we didn't have sense initially in the beginning. Why don't we have sense now? Have sense now. Ask questions. How can someone be giving you the best thing, the way to heaven, and the person is enslaving you? Can we not use our brain? The person is putting you behind bars. Come here in England. Oh my goodness. When I see my people, I see the holier than the people that give them the religion. I see them on the street, and
Exactly.
these people are making so much noise, and I get so upset.
What actually turns me off is, how do they even get? They just get spiritual, and I just feel the whole thing is being acted out. You know, this, you see the drama, and it's just so irritating. It's just so
Absolutely.
irritating. Where I live now, there is a building. There's a building across. They have a church. I would not want to call their names, but they are well-known churches, popular churches here in Nigeria. There is one upstairs. and there's another one down. It's the two-story. Sorry, it's just a story building, a ground floor and the up floor. And I just don't know how it's always commotion. They just make noise, and just within the environment, I've counted over 14 churches in these streets where I live. I live in Calabar, Cross River State. It's just too much. I don't know. I don't know what I don't. It is possible that these people, everybody is searching to connect to that spirit, to that themselves. But I don't know. I think they're just going the wrong way. They're just going the wrong way.
It's not just the wrong way. I think they are they are going to a dead end. Like it's like
Okay.
when people are on a race. There's this video, and there's this video of a boy, a little boy. I mean, these people were running a, what is it called? Is it a marathon? No, it's not a marathon. Um, a relay. They were running a relay, and then the other boy that had the stick, ran to the other one and gave him the stick. Instead of him continuing the race, he ran
He
straight
ran
back.
back. Exactly.
Like this
That was
is
likely
what
to Buhari.
yeah, exactly. This is exactly what is happening with us. We are running a reverse race. We are literally going backwards. Like we we have we have like we have been to the moon already. We are already in the moon before these people, and they told us, they found a way to convince us that, oh, this place you people are going is not, this is not the right place. We should turn back. And these people kept moving. These people kept moving while we turned back, and we are heading for doom. So it is weird that my people, and this is the biggest argument. I mean, apart from even don't even apart from politics, okay, no, not even politics comes close when it comes to argument. You, church religion is the worst thing. It contributes the most wars. People die from religion. Like, what has it done for us? I can never understand what religion has done for us. I mean, not our traditional ways. I mean, this borrowed thing. It's like, so when someone, you find out that you are in a cage and you have the key, you actually have the key to, I mean, to escape, to
Leave.
set yourself free, but you are intentionally locking yourself. You are even looking for more.
Yeah, I think that would be if you're a convert, like you just convert to Christianity or become or Islam, or I think you relate with it differently than if you were born into it. You
I
understand?
was actually born into it. Like,
Into a Christian home. Same here, but I thank God for just having that inquisitive mind that is
and
always questioning everything.
I do think our people are beginning to, like, over the last 5 years, there's so much awakening going on, reawakening. I see people, I mean, when I saw people starting to burn Bible, I mean, and then curse what they believe in. And then you see your fellow believers at the time. I was part of the people. I could fight to, I mean, fight for God. And then this thing never makes sense. Like, I look at myself, I look back, and then I think, how stupid was I? How stupid was I to try, like,
Have believed
to
for
have
something
believed?
that is not even
And
for
I'm
something.
trying to fight for God. The so-called, like, I'm trying to fight for God. If God wants to
Oh,
fight, he
and the
doesn't
white
even
man will
need
be
you.
looking at you.
Eh? So I think this we have been brainwashed, and we have a lot of work to do. I mean, to
Too long.
actually sensitize our people we need to go back to where, I mean, we have tried this for over a long time, and it's still not working for us. We are
Not
the
working.
worst country in the whole wide world. And we actually we go to church more than, we are more
Everybody.
religious than any other people. And why are we still the worst? So this is questions that I keep asking. And then when you look at the Catholic Church, like they talk about the saints. There's so many saints and blah 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 saints everywhere, and there's no black. And then the Pope, you come to the Pope, they say they do not segregate. There is no in the history. They say they will cite certain examples because I've been in the Catholic Church. Like I went to seminary school. I served at mass, so I know a lot about the Catholic Church. So they will cite so many examples, but when you look back, over over 200 popes, and there's no black. And we think we are wise, and we contribute money in the churches, and then we send it to Rome, while people are hungry in
Why
Africa.
people are hungry?
Huh?
How that's a very serious question, because they are these pills, they have million people coming in millions, they have people contributing in millions, but what do they do with all of those money?
Do you know there's this calculation I've made someday, and I was like, because in my church there is like always there's this raising money. There's this project Sunday, whatever. Every Sunday, they raise
There's always
money
a
for,
project in the Catholic Church.
yeah, they raise
Their
money
project never ends. It never
for so
ends.
many things. And then these people, and I was like, I calculated all the people in this church. Let's say one Sunday, every Sunday, they contribute money to help one family. They say these people, you have a business proposal, and you want to go on. You want these people, this business to go to, I mean, to progress, and you go to the church. These people can actually contribute, do this project for this person. This is a way to grow people. I mean, if they did this, I would not be complaining about Christianity. But the people gain absolute nothing from Christianity, from church. I'm telling you, they gain nothing. The only thing I really know, and I've talked about this with so many people, I say the only thing that this Christianity gives us is hope. This is only hope. Hope that
Hope,
hope that
hope for
never
heaven.
ends. Is only hope.
Hope
We
for heaven.
always hoping, and then it keeps us alive. I mean, it works for some people, even though you die wretched, but at least you hope.
Exactly.
You have hope that, okay, tomorrow, next tomorrow, if it doesn't happen today, this is what they tell us. And then
I'm
with
glad.
all
I'm
those,
glad. I'm glad that people are beginning to realize that really it's just a business. These guys are just. It's just a business. It's just business that they are doing. Because if you come here, I just don't know if. But this side is different though.
yep.
People here, backwardness and religion. It's
Mm.
just. It haunts me. It haunts me. They do church every day. As in, sometimes I can't even sleep all night. Choir practice, read midweek service. Man, it's just. I just wonder that who caused us like this?
Well, if you
What
look,
kind of heaven that
go and
will
find
make you
out.
forfeit
Oh,
your life? Because I don't see
sorry.
how you want to make it in this life and you go to church and you'll be going to church on Monday, Tuesday during working hours. I don't know how.
Oh no. Oh no. That is actually the worst. I've talked about this a lot. Like, who does that? So this in this country, in the UK, my goodness, these people come to work so early. These people come to work so early, especially Monday. Monday is the most important day in the week. I mean, who doesn't go to work on Monday? And then you are in the church.
You need to come to Calabar.
And um,
Don't
we have
people to go
seen
too
this in
far.
the
Even
history.
my own mother, I try to tell her to. It's just as if I have sold my soul to the devil, and she doesn't relate
I'm,
with me in that angle
I
anymore.
really like I really like cut cap for you. You are in Nigeria and you actually able to me like I had to leave Nigeria before I began to to make sense of the real world. I had to leave Nigeria and then I that was when I saw that these people don't go to church like Tunde
They
said.
don't.
They
They
don't.
go
They
to the
don't.
churches. You see big church, very big church. There's I was in a church. I was passing the other day and I saw this church. These people were building a coffee shop inside the church.
Okay.
Like they are turning. I know churches. I know several churches here that have been turned into offices. Churches like the historic churches that has
Yeah.
been like 300 years old. They go to the inside. They turn the inside into offices. It is not serving any purpose anymore because people don't go there. So
Do you know something? Yeah, even in the UK now, yeah, a lot of people that have warehouses, yeah, they prefer to actually lease it to churches because they will make more money from it than actually leasing it to any other person.
this is the money. This is the money place. I mean, the churches are the money making machine, especially or not just.
Especially in Nigeria, where we have one of the poorest economy.
I'm telling you, this is even here. The most people when you go to industries, our people are the least people you find. I mean, Nigerians or black people are the least people you find in industries, scaling up the ranks. But then when you go to you go to churches, that is where they've left for us. You go to Catholic churches and then you find the black because it is only us. We are the only people that attend these churches. You understand? We are the only people that attend these churches. I remember when I was here. I mean, 2014, when I was still going to this Catholic church and blah blah blah. And then there is always, whenever I go to church, it's always filled with black people. It is always filled with. And then when I moved over to a less black environment, you would never like the only people you see in churches are very very old people, and this is the reason these people I'm like you can count them 20 people in one Sunday in a
Okay.
very big church. And do you know the reason? This is a way of them like socializing. They just come there after church, after like less than 1 hour church service. They go to the bar, they go behind the church, and then they sit down and have tea, and then they talk to each other, and that is it. None of these. This is a way of them connecting with each other because they've lost. They are no longer. I mean, they're no longer active. This is the only way to keep them active. The young people don't go to church. Never. I don't see any young person in the church. So, my my people, we have a lot of work to do. We need to go back to where we all started.
Yeah, but in the quest of actually going back, we need to go back progressively. You know, so and what I mean by that is that we actually need to go back and draw strength from our root, from our root. We draw the strength from our root, and we now use it to project ourselves forward. Because um, people, all other religion, they've actually demonized our way of life. They demonized it so badly that, you know, if you see anybody that is practicing our traditional way of life, they just like, wow, oh, don't go there, don't go there. But if we now look at it, yeah, the Western world that brought all this religion to us. I don't really know so much about the Islamic religion, but I know quite a lot about the Christianity religion. If we look at it, when they brought Christianity to us, they actually use it in a way that we will not be able to. We will not, if we give it enough time, there will not be a way to actually do a reverse. So, and all our tradition and everything will now be redundant. So, looking at it now, it's just like we now need to actually draw strength from it, and project it, stand our ground, and say, no, we're not going to get colonized again. We're not going to get mental slavery this time around, and then we can now start using what we've got. Now, I'll tell you about what the Western world is trying to do now. If you look everywhere in the Western world now, it's all about zero emission. So clean energy. These, can you hear me? Or I think I'm getting like it's showing me a poor signal here. Can
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So now, if we look at the zero emission, even the colonialists, they are also want to start interacting with nature, which is where they found us when they were coming initially. Now, when we talk about nature, we talk about water. We have Oshun, we have Oya. They actually natural. They are water natural energies that we can actually venerate. So they are coming down now to now start saying, oh yeah, you know what, love your environment, which actually means that our own way of life, we have actually been interacting with nature a lot. My ancestors, my forefathers, they will tell you, okay, you know what, once you cut down a tree, you understand, plant another one. So we have actually been doing all this before they came. They were actually the one that spoiled the planet that they are now trying to make conscious efforts to repair. So we had it all, and we were living so fine in each of our regions. And these are the things that we now need to actually look at. Let's look at the so-called civilized world now, in terms of their renewable energy and everything, and interacting with nature. And if we just look at it, we'll see a lot of similarities in what they're doing and what we have been doing and our way of life, and in about preserving our own culture, preserving our heritage. And that would bring me to a point where, if you go to anywhere in England, they call some place listed properties. Listed properties are properties that, no matter how, if you have 1 billion, yes, by all means you can come and buy it, but you cannot modify it, because it's got historical value to it. They are trying to protect their own cultural heritage. You understand? Even by the time you get to that property, you're like, what's here? But they know what they're protecting, because they've got history behind that building. And we have history behind our monuments, behind all our places that we come from, but we're not protecting it. So we now need to start drawing strength from there to start protecting what we have. don't let anybody actually demonize us and our way of life. If in fact our way of life is actually the richest, even the white people, that the colonialists, I want to group them together, both the French and the English. They want to be like us sometimes. In fact, in most cases, there was a time I wore agbada. Sorry, for those who don't understand Yoruba, garments.
I know.
I was wearing it
Everybody know
on the.
Agbada.
Yes,
I was wearing it on the street. Yeah, I was wearing it on the street of London. And guess what? In fact, even the white people, they were like, "Wow, I love that. I love that. Oh, I love that." Because naturally, the way we actually do it is that we will fold the agbada and just wear the buba and shokoto. That means the top and the bottom. But we normally fold the agbada until when we get to where we're going for the event. But I was like, no. I'm just going to put on the whole regalia. And, and they were like, "Oh, where did you get that? Oh, can we have it?" I was like, "Yeah, if you go to my hometown or my country, you'll find it. It's in abundance, So all these things, they also like it. They cherish it. But we are the one that are like, "Oh, no. I don't want that, I want to be like my colonial masters. I want to be like them. I want to wear
Wear suit.
that suit and tie, my wife should wear the gown, the white gown. Yes, yeah. That is when we know that we have done a wedding. No. We should actually draw strength from. We now put our own, like my Igbo brothers, they will say, "Oh, I want to go and do palm wine curry." Yes, the palm wine curry should actually be the main one. If you like, go and do your wedding in the sea. I don't care. But that palm wine curry must be the main one. But a lot of us right now, they've done a lot of damage into our psychic that we don't even cherish that. It's like, my boyfriend, what we're going to do is, let's just go to the village and just do the palm wine curry. Let's just do that one, Then we'll come and do the main one. Which one is the main one? That is the question I always ask. Which one is the main one? Because we put our own on the back foot and we now project the colonial master's way of life. Do you know the reason why a white man would actually wear suit and tie? Because their weather demand for it. A normal English weather will warrant you to wear suit, tie. In fact, sometimes you even wear cardigan before you put on the suit. If not, you will die of hypothermia, isn't it? Or pneumonia. So, but that is the one that we want. Because I on the street of Lagos, because I grew up in Lagos, and on the street of Lagos, I will see a lot of people sweating in hot sun with suit and tie. Can you be more white than the white man? But it's just that mental slavery that is in there. So they've done a number on us, and we actually need to start coming back from that and put our own. A lot of, thank God, at least people now split marriages into two. Wedding ceremony, let me put it like into two now. They're like, okay, we'll do the traditional in the village, then we'll now go to Lagos or Abuja or wherever to go and do the white wedding. And I'm happy they actually call it white wedding because it's not ours. But the way we carry it is that we actually rubbish it. We're like, no, we just go. We will just go. It's not. That actually has to be the main one. Then when I say, okay, for picture and camera purposes, okay, yeah, we can just go and do the white wedding. I think that should be the flipping point. I'm not sure if anybody actually see it from my own angle. Thank you.
That point, it really, really hit home. This is really something that I talk about all the time. Who does two weddings? It is only black people, honestly. only black people does two weddings. They do the rubbish one. They say let's do the ordinary one, and then just they do just traditional wedding, and then you come and do the main one, which is the white wedding. Are you kidding me? We have big problem. We have big problem. How can someone else? It is only black. Honestly, when you see Indian wedding, when you see Asians do their thing, they just do it. Nobody goes on about. If they want to take pictures, I see. The other day, I was walking the street, and then I saw this, Chinese couple, and it was just this Chinese couple and one
Are you still there? Or is it just me?
It seems he had a call.
Oh, okay.
I want to say,
Oh, please go on.
he was talking
Madam, are you
about
good?
the wedding,
Yeah.
and we are talking about how colonization has affected our tradition. That is one of the examples of the parts of which colonization affects us. Because if we don't, that man I spoke about the other time, he analyzed a lot of things to me this evening. He said, if you are being colonized by a race, if you don't do what that race do, what they do, how they think, their way of life, their culture, their tradition, to you, you are not complete. To you, you have not done anything. Because you have to think like them, you have to do like them, because they warn you, by colonizing you, collecting everything that has to do with you, your language, your culture, your tradition, your way of life, your dressing, your everything, your heritage. And people still talk about, and black people still talk about their dignity and pride. Where is your dignity? Where's your pride as a black person? The part at which you spoke about when you dress in agbada and everything. Likewise me, when I dress and, in my Ankara attire, they will just be looking at me. And I'll go and buy all these beads, all these our beads. When I put it on my neck, our chain. This is our native hand chain. When I just put that bead, that hand bead, dress complete. Till I get to where I'm going to, I'll be the only one they are looking at. There was a time in class when we were talking about our tradition and our culture. So they spoke about our ways, our mode of dressing. I showed them a video, pictures of the way we, our Ankara, our Ashoke, and all that, Agbada, even during wedding and everything. And all the white Italian guys said, oh, one of them said, I cannot wear this. I can't imagine myself as an Italian wearing this stuff on myself. I now showed him a picture of a white man getting married to a black woman, wearing it and even prostrating. He was like, wow. Most of them, they don't get to see outside, apart from their country. They don't travel. What they show them on TV is how Africa is worse, how our children, there are flies everywhere. And they think that is how it is. Some of them will be asking you, do you have pillow in your house in Africa? Imagine. So these people, most of them, they think Africa is really a jungle for animals. And so when you come to this place, they are the one that help you to, you know, see the brighter side of the world. Our forefathers have been doing these things before colonization came. But our own people are now seeing our forefathers as if they no open eye at all. Now we both can't open their eye. You know, it's very sickening. It's sad. It's sad. And you even use more energy on these people. Explain, preach, talk, do everything. They will not understand. They will say, no, it's evil. Except the one their colonizers told them. You know, it's so hard for you to decolonize a colonized African. You know, because they always believe their master, their slave master is right. Even they believe after God now Oyinbo. Now the worst thing that can ever happen to Africa or a black man be that. So I hereby yield my mic.
Thank you. Actually, to add to your point, not until when, because actually traveling is also a part of education, but not until when I started going to the Western countries, then that's when I now get to understand that these people are not the way our own fathers actually portray them to be. No, they, you know, even most of our people back home, you know, once they see them, they're like, oh, they've seen God. You understand? Yeah, but it is what they have actually been. It is what have actually been written in the books that they've been reading. That okay, you know what? Oh, God is white, you know, and all these things. So it really baffles me because I got to understand that even the so-called colonialists, most of their children don't even go to school. And by the time we now see them, we see them as, oh, they are superior than us. No, it's just because they come from the strength or from the angle of a colonialist. I have actually been to a place that, okay, there's a particular boy, he was asked to fill a form, and I gave the form to him. I said, oh, fill this form. It's like, oh, I can't write. I don't know. I don't know. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, what do you mean? I was like, oh, so he now started feeling embarrassed, like, oh, maybe then I now understand that, oh, truly, he has never been to school. And not that he has not been in a classroom. He has been in a classroom, but he did not even learn. They forced them. In fact, they even paid them stipends to go to college, most of the time. Some of them were like, you know what? Yeah, like, I can't be asked. You'll be teaching them in school, and they are drawing things. So, but we actually have to understand that the only difference is skin color. And the fact that they come to actually colonize us and spoil our tradition does not make them anything better than us. So the moment we start actually detaching our mind and our brain from actually seeing them as, okay, they are superior because they've come to colonize us, and then, oh yeah, that means, oh, these people are actually second to God. King James actually supervised and instigates the way the Bible, King James, the Bible has to be written, you know, because he's the king at that time, and he wants to, you know, he wants power, he wants to control the world. So, and he did a very good job at it. And there's some stories in there that, you know, well, I still want to ask a lot of questions. I don't know if I think Mr. Oti, you actually serve in the Catholic, so maybe you'll be able to answer this question. So I want to put you on the spot now. You know, when when Adam and Eve, they were the first people on earth, isn't it? That was created by God. So,
Yes.
and then, yeah, they had children. They had two boys. They had two boys. So one killed the other because of their wickedness, and ran to another town, another village, and got married. Did did Cain actually got married, or he came back to do incest with his mother? So that we can be alive. I don't know. Maybe you were actually serving, so you understand more than me.
So this is really. I mean, I like when you remind me of this actual thing because it's really funny. I mean, they told us about God creating just two people, you know, and then how come? How did we get here? So does it mean our the very first parents were incest or what? Like were they sleeping with? I don't know, you know. But yeah, so these are really the most of the questions that when you ask them in the church, they don't have answers for you. They really don't. This is, the concept of Christianity. we- So I remember there's this thing called a catechism. So catechism is when before you receive the Holy Communion, and you have to go through these teachings and learnings over a period of almost 6 months. Sometimes it spans up to a year for you to to get into to receive this holy communion. And then I remember there's this particular verse that tells you don't ever don't read books that are not Catholics. They tell us this: don't read books or listen to teachings that are not Catholic. So they actually intentionally enslaved us and then blocked our heads. And then they told us not to access informations that will tell us who we actually are. So my brother, I don't have answers for that. This is one of the reason I actually left them, because they had no answer to so many things I asked them. And then the only thing they keep asking me when I in fact, I had this argument with my friends couple of days ago. I mean last week. Just last week. And these people asked me, okay, who created me? How did I become man? And I'm like, there is so many theories. You choose the one you like. You prefer the one they told you that so God created this same all those Bible stories. I remember you said something about King James. King James was actually a pedophile and a homosexual. King James. I mean, this was a brutal king, and he supervised the translation of the Bible. Does he not tell you something?
Yeah, because he wants to gain our ground, he wants to gain our lands, and he wants to gain our brain, our minds, and he has succeeded to a large extent. But now, thank God,
And
actually, we are coming back now, so we understand.
when they
Yeah,
see people using songs and everything to liberate people, they kill them. You know how many African musicians that have been killed? I don't know to what extent we are going to keep on trying to liberate our people. See, what I just said. It's not easy for people to convince you, or except you are convinced yourself. So I think maybe everybody should just wait till we'll keep on doing what we are doing, and we'll wait till everybody, you know, gets the facts by themselves. That is going to be a personal liberation. It's not somebody, because now the one we are trying to do now, people are thinking, oh, you are forcing us, you are doing this, oh, you are doing that. And they can't really open their eyes to see who is doing the forcing of a thing here. They will tell you, don't read worldly books, don't hear worldly songs, don't do this, so that you will not be liberated, so that you will not, your inner minds will not be open. To them, they have captured you. They must find this kind of laws to enslave you as much as they can. So we really appreciate everyone for coming into this room. Once again, I thank you, Mr. Tunde Fatoyibo and Mr. Iwu for being here. Danny, I say thank you to you, Mr. Ola, Mrs. Abiyo, and every other person in the room, or everyone that has been here tonight. I know we're not used to doing programs in English. We are always doing it in Yoruba. But I just want our people to open their ears so that they can see. They can hear from other people. They will not be hearing from us, and then, there will not be so much respect when they hear their sisters and brothers saying it. When they hear it from others, other countries, other regions, other tribes, maybe they will respect it enough to, abide by it and to be liberal enough, because they used to use that word liberal, but in the real sense, they are not liberal. So thank you once again. Mr. Tunde Fatoyibo, what do you say? Should we close the room?
Well, at least we've done some justice to it at the moment. At least this has been running for over an hour now. So yeah, we'll just need to actually continue to have more of these conversations, and we know that it's even easier for us now than before, because I'm happy for the likes of the leaders of Redeem, Winners, and the likes, because they're doing a very good job at actually sending people back home. So they are the one actually doing the biggest part of the job.
Yes.
So it's faster than you think. Trust me, it's faster than you think. But when these people are actually chasing them back home, we should be ready to
accept them back,
to accept them and educate them. That it has never been what you think, and it would never be what you think. It has never been what you have been told, by all other religion, or all other religion that you've ever had. But not until when you actually come into the light, then you actually see it, and that's it. So let's continue to actually pray for them to continue to do the job that they are doing, because they're actually activating it so well that they're actually turning people back home. And that's what I see to it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And on this term, we're going to close the room. Thank you so much. Bye.